our hardworking pupils in class 9. Are you ready for English lesson? Well done. Today we have lesson 3 about NGOs. Before starting our new lesson, let's enrich your vocabulary. We have some new words for you. Obey, statute, wounded, war, voluntary, volunteer, battle, natural disaster. What do you think? What kind of definition can we give to the word obey? Here you are. To act according to what you have been asked or ordered to do by someone in authority, or to behave according to a rule, law, or instruction. Second one, statute. A law that has been formally approved and written down. The next is war. Your definition? Good job. Armed fighting between two or more countries or groups, or a particular example of this. The next word, wounded. Offended or upset by what someone has said or done. The next, voluntary. Done, made, or given willingly without being forced or paid to do it. And the word battle. Thank you. A fight between armed forces. Volunteer. What does it mean, the word volunteer? Thank you. A person who does something, especially helping other people, willingly and without being forced or paid to do it. What about the phrase natural disaster? Good job. A natural event such as flood or earthquake that kills or injures a lot of people. Now, dears, it is time to activity number 1 on page 97. Here, you should answer the questions about NGOs. The first one, what do the letters NGO stand for? Thank you. The second question, what NGOs do you know? Do you know any NGO organizations? Thank you. What are the Red Cross and Red Crescent? Thank you. And what do they do? Now I have an interesting listening task about NGOs. In this listening task, you can check your answers. By the way, you can improve your knowledge about NGOs. Let's listen together.
Lesson 3, Activity 1C.
Hello, and welcome to 5 Minutes of Education a Day. Our program today is about some famous non-governmental organizations, or NGOs. These organizations are independent from the government. They have their own program and statutes and do not report to the government, but they obey the laws of government on NGOs. Now, most of you will be familiar with the words the Red Cross and the Red Crescent. Yes, and most of you will know their logos, the Red Cross on a white background and the Red Crescent also on a white background. These emblems are recognized all over the world as symbols of aid and relief. As I said, the Red Cross and the Red Crescent are probably the best known NGOs in the world. They exist to assist people who have been hit by natural disasters and wars, and those living in difficult or dangerous situations. And just recently they have been very busy. But first, a word or two about how they began.
Thank you so much. Were your answers right? Good job. Now, the second part of this activity, here the same structure. You have to answer the questions, but not before listening to us, but after listening. The question: how did the Red Cross and the Red Crescent begin? Let's listen. After listening, you should answer the question.
Lesson 3, Activity 1D.
The Red Cross was founded by a Swiss citizen, Henri Dunant, in 1863, after he had visited the scenes of battles in the north of Italy. He saw the terrible suffering of the soldiers lying on the battlefields without any medical services, and he decided to do something about it. So he began helping the soldiers and called local people to help. Later, he wrote a book about his experiences. In the book, he asked the people of the world to organize a voluntary association to help those in need in peacetime, and he also asked them to establish an organization of medical nurses ready to care for the wounded during a war. In addition, he asked for an international agreement which guaranteed health and medical services provided by volunteers who were honest. In this way, the Red Cross and the Red Crescent were established.
Thank you for your attention. Let's check your answer. It was the result of one man's experience of seeing the wounded in a war zone. Henry Dunant decided to create an organization to offer relief and emergency in peacetime and help for the wounded in wartime. Let's move to the next activity. Number 2A, it is reading task. For this activity, you need your textbooks. Please open on page 97 and pay attention activity number 2A, and you can find the text about NGOs. Are you ready? Let's try to read with me. There are many NGOs working in Uzbekistan. They work to improve all areas of life, health, education, promoting small business, and so on. Some NGOs working in Uzbekistan are the Healthy Generation, the Business Women's Association, and Red Crescent. The Red Crescent was established in Uzbekistan on May 28, 1992. The organization holds a General Assembly every 5 years. In 1995, the Uzbekistan branch of the Red Crescent became a member of ICRC, International Command of the Red Crescent. On June 5, 1998, the first General Assembly was held and the principles of organization were approved. The members of this organization are formed of 12 regions, the Republic of Karakalpakstan, and organizations in Tashkent city, the Railway of Uzbekistan, and the 215 city and district organizations of Uzbekistan. RC cooperates with the government of Uzbekistan on a number of programs. For example, together with the Ministry of Public Education and the local Red Crescent of Uzbekistan, an important and excellent textbook called The Individual and Society has been developed for secondary schools in Uzbekistan. The book was approved for use in schools in 2000. In 1998, the Red Crescent gave important help in Shahmardan after the flood. And also in 1999, they sent humanitarian help to Turkey after the devastating earthquake there. In Uzbekistan, the Red Crescent and the ICRC are working to raise awareness about the problem of drugs, the effect of drugs, and how to treat them. Many seminars have been organized. The Red Crescent also works with young people. So far, the Red Crescent has organized a number of national youth camps with many interesting and educational programs for young people in Uzbekistan. So, dears, you have to answer the questions according to the text which we have read a few minutes ago. The first question: the names of the NGOs working in Uzbekistan. Your answer is the Healthy Generation, the Business Women's Association, the Red Crescent. The second question: an example of how the Red Crescent cooperates with the Uzbekistan government. Thank you. The individual and society. Let's move to the third question. An example of the kind of international help the Red Crescent gives. Good job. In 1999, the organization sent humanitarian help to Turkey after the devastating earthquake. The first question: examples of Red Crescent help with disasters in Uzbekistan. In 1998, the Red Crescent gave important help in Shahrimardan after the floods. Fifth question: examples of Red Crescent programs to promote healthy citizens. The Red Crescent is working to raise awareness about the problem of drugs, the effects of drugs, and how to treat them. Activity number 3 on page 98. The instruction: Claire is in class 11. She supports the WWF. Read and say what you think about her activity. Please open on this page and try to read with me. We have lots of organizations which try to help. There are NGOs like the WWF, Worldwide Fund for Nature, which try to protect animals and their environments. Oxfam, which helps people in disasters and emergencies, and so on. I try to play my part. We have flag days when we stand in the street and collect money from people. We have official badges so people can recognize us, and we are licensed by the city authorities. Thank you for your attention. So, you should give your opinion about Claire's activity. I have 2 examples which my students sent me as a home task. Let's listen together.
I think that this is the action of a responsible citizen of the earth. Taking care about our planet where we are living and contributing to its well-being is highly important. As for me, collecting money from people and using it to protect animals and their environment is a pragmatic approach to help and save Earth. In Uzbekistan, we truly have many non-governmental organizations and some charity funds that collect money and then use them to plant trees or build new homes or for animals, so that they help in any way possible. Uzbek people are really generous. If we take it in international arena, I can say that in some special days like Earth Day, people go out and they do everything possible to help and save the planet that we are living.
Thank you. The second example.
From year to year, the damage caused by human activities to nature has been studied in depth by society, and a number of organizations have been formed to prevent it. It's noteworthy that those who want to take an active part in such organizations are working hard to preserve nature. We only approve of the proliferation of such organizations, but it's more expedient for humanity not only to provide organizations with money, but also to prevent damage to nature and use nature properly.
Thank you so much. Please record your answers too and send it to your teacher. and then you can get the feedback of your teacher. How long does it take you? Today we have to learn how we can answer this question. We have structure, it plus object plus time and verb. For example, it takes me 15 minutes to eat my breakfast. The second example, it takes her 5 minutes to make a cup of tea. Activity 4A. In this activity, you have to answer the questions. The first question, how long does it take you to walk a kilometer? 15 minutes, 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes? Thank you. Second question, how long does it take you to wake up in the morning? 5 minutes enough? If your answer is 5 minutes, it takes me 5 minutes to wake up in the morning. The next question, how long does it take you to fall asleep at night? It is a very interesting question. How long does it take you? Thank you so much. So dears, it is time for home task. Your first home task is find out what NGOs work in your area. Your second task, write a letter to the NGO asking for help with a problem in your place. Make sure you send out the letter correctly. Explain the problem. Say what has been done already, if anything. Say clearly what you want to the NGO to do. Say what you can do to help the NGO. Give an address where the NGO can contact you. It is the end of our lesson. Thank you for your attention. I do appreciate it. See you next time.